Hi, this instructional video is about solving quadratic equation. Here we have an equation in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This time, however, the a term, the leading coefficient, is not a 1. So therefore, we have to use a thing called the AC method. We're going to use a thing called AC factor. And here's how that works. First, look at the leading coefficient 12. And you ask yourself, what are the multiples? What are the numbers that you can multiply to get a 12? And you list them all. For example, 1 and 12. Of course, you have 2 and 6. And another possibility is 3 and 4. So you list them out like that. Those are all your A terms. And now look at the C. What are the multiples that will give you 15? So you say 1 and 15. Another possibility is, of course, 3 and 5. And I think that's it. Now the question you have to ask, well here, this is where you have to use your instinct, your gut feeling. You're trying to figure out what set of numbers, if you were to multiply them, and their product, if you added or subtracted, will give you 11. And this is where you have to use your gut feelings. Oh yeah, use gut feelings in math. So I'm going to say this, you know what? There's too much disparity between these two numbers, 1 and 12. And my gut feeling is 2 and 6 might be too big also. Because if you multiply these numbers with this one over here, one will be too big and too small to give me an 11. So I'm going to choose 3 and 4. I just felt like it. It felt good in my guts. And I'm going to say 1 and 15 is also too drastic of a difference. So I'm going to say 3 and 5. I think those are the two set of numbers I want to play with. And then here's what you do. You have to do a trial and error. So for example, I'm going to say, let's say 4 times 3. 4 times 3. That will give me 12. And 3 times a second multiple 5, that will give me 15. So I go, well, can you do something with 12 and 15? So if you add or subtract, you get an 11? Nah, that's not going to work. You could either get 12 plus 15 is 27. Nope. Or you could go 12 minus 15 is 3 or negative 3. Nope, that's not 11. So now I go, all right, then let's try the other way. I'm not giving up on these numbers yet. Then I ask myself, all right, since 4 and 3 did not work, how about 4 times 5? Well, that'll be 20. Then what remains is 3 times 3. That'll give me 9. Can you do something with 12 and 9? So when you add or subtract, would give you the B term 11? Yeah. The 20 has to be positive, and 9 has to be negative. Minus 9, that'll give me 11. That's what we want, positive 11. So now we're ready to write that in a factor form, the two binomials. So the leading coefficients for the two binomials, they're always positive. So we got 3x and 4x. Because when you do the FOIL method, 3x times 4x would give me the 12x squared. But now, how do we put these numbers in? Well, we just said 20 has to be positive and 9 has to be negative. So 4 times 5 is positive 20. So 3 times, yeah, that has to be negative, minus 3. And also, in order for the 3x to multiply with a negative 3, the FOIL method says the 3 has to come over here because we're going to go 3 times 4x and 3 times negative 3. That means what remains 5 has to come on this side of the parentheses. So that's the factor form. Now we're going to solve it by using the zero product property. And what that means is set each of the binomials equal to 0. So the second is 4x minus 3. Let that equal to 0. And that's what is going to make this statement equal to 0. And that's where you'll find the x-intercepts if you were to draw the parabola. So we got minus 5 to both sides of the equation. We got 3x is equal to negative 5. Divide both sides by 3. So one of the solutions of this quadratic equation is negative 5 over 3. And then here you solve for x by adding 3 to both sides of the equation. So you got 4x is equal to 3. Divide both sides by the 4. So x is equal to 3/4. And there are my two solutions to this quadratic equation. Now you try this one. Good. You said, okay, this also, the leading coefficient is not a 1, so I have to use the AC factor. I'm going to use the AC factor method to solve this equation. So now you're going to look at the A and you ask yourself, what are all the multiples, all the factors that will give me, if you multiply, it will give me an 8. So you said 1 and 8. And you said 2 and 4. Okay? I think that's about it. Look at the C. Well, that's 1 and 9. And the other possibility is 3 and 3. And here you make the gut decision. Yeah, gut decision. Not like when you're doing the multiple choice test, no. Okay, we're gonna do a try and error. And I get my gut feeling says I should try the 2 and 4. And 1 and 9, there's too much disparity. I get a feeling it's not that. So I'm going to do something with it with the 3 and 3. This one's an easy one because we have two identical multiples, so it doesn't matter what order, you just have to multiply them. So 2 times 3, well, that's going to be a 6. And 4 times 3, that's going to be a 12. Can you take these two products and add and subtract them to get you a -6 for the B term? Yeah, then 12 has to be negative, and 6 has to be positive. Okay, so whatever you multiply it to a 4, the 3 in this case, that better be a -3. And this 3 has to be a +3 to multiply with this 2. You're already ready to put it in factor form. Again, the A term, the 2 and the 4, they're always positive. So you get 2x and 4x. Now, where do you place these numbers? Be careful, one is negative, one is positive. The one you want to multiply with the 2 has to be +3. But if you put that +3 here, the FOIL method doesn't work that way. It goes out here. So that's where you want to put the +3. That means what remains, the -3, has to go over there. Because remember, FOIL, the first of the terms, right? And that is 2x times 4x is 8x squared. O for outside. If you're on a bus, this is the window seat, the outside seat. And that's the window seat. So outside, 2x times 3 is 6x. I for inside. If you're on the bus, this will be your aisle seat, inside. So -3 times 4x is -12x. And then L represents last of each two binomial terms. So -3, +3. So you get -9. And anytime you do a distributive property of two binomials, or the FOIL method, you have to combine the middle terms together. Look what you get. 8x squared minus 6x minus 9 is equal to 0. And that's what you have to start with. I just did this to show you that it is the proper factor form. So now you're going to take those binomials and set it to 0 to solve for x. In this case, you have to add 3 to both sides of the equation. So you get 2x is equal to 3. Divide 2 to both sides. X is equal to 3 over 2. That's one of your solutions to this equation. For the second binomial, you subtract 3 to both sides of the equation. So 4x is equal to -3. Divide the coefficient 4. So the second solution for this equation is x equals -3 over 4. I hope this helps you to do some independent practice. Good luck!